There are lots of things that can make your rates go higher, and they fit into three categories: fine print, things that make sense, and things that only a diabolical mastermind would think up. We'll start with the fine print stuff. This is where the real gotcha minutia of any contract is found. How late payments can affect your rates. Even what exactly a late payment is. If you were a lawyer, you'd say, that's just the way it is. Contract law is based off of the details of a contract. If you aren't a lawyer, and I'm not, you would probably assume that since it would be a terrible business practice to put the screws to your client every day and put it in writing, the fine print must be fine. You would be wrong. If you want to be in control of your credit card rates, you simply must read through the fine print. The Credit Card Accountability, Reform, and Disclosure Act of 2009 requires that even the fine print must be in plain English. But remember, these are lawyers. If you're unsure of any of the details, call the number on your card and get a clear explanation of the question. Ask for the explanation in writing, and email's a fine way for them to respond. If you think about it, it's easy to see where missing payments, making late payments, or even using more than your credit line would make you a bigger risk. And the only way that a credit card company has to offset that risk is by charging you more money. And that makes sense. Now let's apply a little credit card logic. If you have a store card, a card that works at just one store, and a bank offers that credit line, it will cost more than a card issued by the same bank that can be used anywhere. In fact, one major department store chain associated with a major November holiday parade charges a different higher rate on their own MasterCard if you use it at their store versus a convenience store. The idea is both the issuing bank and the issuing store want to consider the credit card business an income source. And that brings us to the diabolical. You'll find that some credit card companies can redefine the base interest rate, and this is one of my all-time favorites. Let's say you have a card with a reasonable prime plus 9.99% interest rate. Now that should mean you pay 12.24% annually, because the prime rate is 3% plus the Fed funds rate, which right now is at 1/4%. But some companies pad their rates by establishing a lowest value for the prime. One company claims that lowest rate at 6%, adding nearly 3% to their cost of borrowed money. On a $10,000 balance, that's an additional $350 per year on every single customer. Another clearly diabolical consequence of the Card Act is that any misstep, a late payment, an underpayment, even a mistimed payment, will end any promotional rate offered for opening a card or transferring a balance. No second chances. One other bizarre consequence of credit card reform is a misplaced feeling of safety. There really is no police force designated with the responsibility to enforce these new rules. It will still fall on each and every one of us to keep track of our own situation every day. To access our free training videos on how to lower your credit card interest rates, go to IHateMyCreditCardCompany.com.